Hello, this is Scott Hansen with the Dell Enterprise Technology Center. In today's demonstration, we will show the hardware inventory and lifecycle controller log export feature available in version 1.4 firmware of the Dell Lifecycle controller. We are now looking at some sample batch files that have been written to access the WSMan protocol of the lifecycle controller using the WinRM, Windows Remote Management command. In this batch file, you see that we're using the export hardware inventory feature. We simply pass it the IP address of the iDRAC and connect it to a Windows share, a CIFS share, with an IP address and a name, passing the username and password, along with the file name for the XML file which we wish to use for the export of the hardware inventory information. We will now run this command. You will see that it will use WinRM. It will pass it the IP address 192.168.0.70 of our DRAC controller. It returns a job ID, which we can then use to get the job status to see if it is in process or has processed. And it will return that this job ID was completed successfully. And we can now look at our Windows CIFS share. In this instance, it's on the local machine, but it can be anywhere on the network that the DRAC can connect to. So in this instance, it's simply C:\CIFS. So we see the export hardware XML file, which we can view with any one of our favorite XML viewers. We'll simply open this up in IE. And you see that it has the hardware information for this machine, as the RAID information, the controller information, what slots it's in, as well as relevant information for firmware and BIOS versions. Now let's take a look at exporting the lifecycle controller log. This uses a very similar interface. We have a batch file with WinRM, export LC log is the schema that we'll be using. And again, we pass it the IP address of the DRAC as well as the IP address of a CIFS share with the username, password, and the file that we would like to use for the export. So we'll go ahead and run this command. And again, we just simply pass the IP address of the DRAC controller. You see the command executing. Again, it will return a job ID, which we can use to pass to another script where we can check the status. So we'll get job status of IP address of the controller and the job ID. And we'll see that this should return completed. Lifecycle controller log export was successful. And now again, we can use any one of our favorite XML viewers, or simply open this file in IE on the Windows workstation, and this will give us all of the log information, what has been happening on the lifecycle controller. You can see when things were inserted, when they were removed, when configuration changes happened, the date and time that this happened down to the very second. So very good information for keeping track of what has been happening in your server system. So thank you very much for viewing these demos. If you have further questions or would like to download some of these sample scripts, please visit us at delltechcenter.com. Thank you.